I'm going to ask ChatGPT how to mod my Nintendo Switch and follow its instructions exactly, even if they're wrong. So will I be able to jailbreak my Switch successfully? Well, let's find out. Now let's define what successfully jailbreaking my Switch means. This means my Switch should be running Atmosphere custom firmware, have a working emuNand, which is a copy of your system's internal memory on your SD card, and of course, be able to run on licensed software. I'm usually the one who makes a list of everything we need, but I guess that's ChatGPT's job today. So ChatGPT, give me a guide on how to jailbreak my Nintendo Switch. After asking ChatGPT to do this, it started yapping as usual, so I'll summarize what it said we needed to do. To jailbreak my Switch, I need to check console compatibility. Well, I've modded this before, so I think we're good there. Have an SD card and a computer. Check and check. Download Hekate, Atmosphere, Tegra RCM GUI, and Sigpatches. Boom. And finally, format my SD card to FAT32. ChatGPT, I'll let you off the hook this time, but you didn't tell me what software I could use to format my SD card, as Windows doesn't support formatting cards over 32 gigabytes to FAT32. Just don't let it happen again. After I formatted my SD card, ChatGPT said to extract the Atmosphere and Hekate zips onto the root of my SD card and to copy Sigpatches to the appropriate folders. Next, it was time to enter RCM mode. ChatGPT said I needed to turn off my Switch and insert my RCM jig into the right Joy-Con rail. It never said I needed an RCM jig at the start of its message, so mentioning it now was kind of weird, but oh well. Hold the volume up button and press the power button. The screen should remain black if you successfully entered RCM mode. Well, let's see if that works.
Yeah, it worked.
ChatGPT then said to send payload to my Switch. Wait, how many hands do you think I have? Wouldn't it make more sense to mention this before you say how to enter RCM mode? Like, what am I supposed to do? You know what? That's strike one, ChatGPT. You gave me the correct instructions, but in a terrible order. 2 more strikes and I'm gonna do some bad things. After connecting my Switch to my computer, I opened Tegra RCM, selected the Hekate payload, and clicked inject payload. Surprisingly, my Switch didn't blow up, which meant ChatGPT was correct with everything so far. It then told me to select launch and choose SysNAND to boot into Atmosphere custom firmware. Using Atmosphere on your SysNAND normally isn't dangerous, but it was the step after this where ChatGPT made its first serious mistake. ChatGPT told me to install tinfoil, which is a software used to download games at a 100% discount. But because it never told me to create an emuNAND, if I installed tinfoil onto my SysNAND, downloaded a game and ran it, my Switch would have been permanently banned. This is why creating an emuNAND is so important, because if I hadn't modded a Switch before and followed this guide, I would have been banned from Nintendo online servers without knowing what I did wrong. Newer versions of Atmosphere block your Switch from connecting to online servers, so there's a chance I wouldn't have gotten banned, but it's still not recommended to run unlicensed NSPs. NSPs are games or apps that show up on your home screen, while NROs are apps that show up in the Homebrew launcher. And ChatGPT never told me which version of tinfoil I should get. To further add to the damage, tinfoil is no longer a trusted software by the Homebrew community due to it being closed sourced and having a shady developer. So I'm not sure why ChatGPT said to install it in the first place. With that all said, this meant I had to give ChatGPT its second strike. One more strike and you all would have to subscribe because I'm doing a country giveaway at 100K. Comment down below for a chance to win Zambia. After that fiasco, ChatGPT told me to download the Homebrew App Store and drag hbmenu.nro to the root of my SD card. Why couldn't I do this while I was setting everything else up on my SD card? Here we go again with the correct instructions, but in a terrible order. And after that, ChatGPT's guide was officially complete. I find it funny that it said to only play games I own the rights to and that piracy is illegal, even though it literally told me to download tinfoil. But anyways, even though ChatGPT messed up by having me boot into SysNAND and installing tinfoil, it technically didn't do anything wrong as I did have custom firmware working on my Switch. Because of this, I decided to give ChatGPT a chance to redeem itself by asking it how to set up an emuNAND. If it told me how to do this correctly, I would remove the second strike I gave it. It's still keeping the first one though. How do I set up an emuNAND? Holy yeah. Skipping past the stuff we already did, ChatGPT told me to go into Hekate, select tools, and partition SD card. Well, because it never told me how much space to give the emuNAND, I guess I'll just give it 1 gigabyte. If you're using this video as a guide, please don't, but make sure to give your emuNAND 29 gigabytes of storage. Once that was done, ChatGPT said to press emuMMC, create emuMMC, and click SD partition. It then suggested that I create a backup of my emuNAND, which I was happy to see because doing that is a very good idea. So I went to Tools, emuMMC, and pressed back. Wait a minute, there's no emuMMC button in Tools. Oh goodness, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to remove the second strike, ChatGPT. The real way to create an emuNAND backup is to go to Tools, press Backup eMMC, turn on SD SD emuMMC raw petition and backup emuMMC boot 0 and boot 1 and emuMMC raw GPP. After creating the backup, it was time to boot into my emuNand to see if it worked. And look at that, it did. I'll remove half of the strike because ChatGPT did correctly tell me how to create an emuNand, but it completely lied on how to create a backup of it. So is asking ChatGPT how to jailbreak your Nintendo Switch a good idea? No. Did it work? Kind of, I guess. So thank you for watching ChatGPT jailbreak my Switch, and if you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more modding content. Bye.